Bing
'Tis the
bong,
season to
ba-doop-a-dum,
be jolly
bum,
and
ba-doom,
joyous.
ba-da, ba-ba-da-ba-da.
Hi, Sweetpeas. Sorry to be weird floating head girl. I forgot to film an intro at the house. We are going grocery shopping on Christmas Eve. Nobody does it like a procrastinator. So, today for you guys is Christmas Eve. Merry Christmas Eve to everyone who celebrates. We do like a potluck style thing at Felix's grandma's house. I'm bringing mac and cheese, as I always do, because I want to make sure there's mac and cheese at every single event. And the best way to make sure that happens is to make it. I'm also making sweet tea. That's not, it's not so much a recipe though. And then Felix is making, we call it sheep's pie because it's vegetarian shepherd's pie. And then Christmas morning, I'm making a ton of breakfast. I really want like huge breakfast. So that's what I'm making. I'm making some like breakfast sliders, pigs in a blanket, and the like TikTok viral cinnamon roll hack cinnamon rolls. And then Felix is making tofu scramble for the vegetarian sliders. And then just getting regular groceries as well. So it's like huge giant grocery shopping. But my hope is that this first half I'll do like a little aesthetic moment in the grocery store. And then I'll do a haul, and that's, I think, probably going to be it. This is a short one. We've got a busy time coming up, as I'm sure all of you do. And then after that, we only have one more episode of Vlogmas. Crazy. Okay, let's go to the store. Let's go see our girl, Winco. Okay. The store was great. It was very busy, which I expected because it's Christmas Eve. There was a lot going on. I would say the most cuckoo bananas was that you know how like, maybe this only happens to me and this is a unique experience, but I feel like when I go to Disney World or the grocery store or an airport, any place where there's like a lot of people, there's gotta be like some sort of like German word for this. But I'm always like running into the same like 10 people like throughout that whole experience. It feels like I'm seeing the same like characters, like no matter what part of the park I'm in or what part of the store or what part of the airport. One of those characters today was a man who was there with his son. The dad's probably like 40 something if I had to guess, maybe 50 something. And the kid is probably like 11 or 12. And they loudly keep having to call the mom because he's like, what did you need? What's going on? And I will say he didn't seem like mad. He seemed like genuinely so confused, as if he was like dropped on this planet not 30 minutes ago and sent to the Winco. But he had a snapback Gulf of America hat on. Which means he feels strongly enough about it being the Gulf of America that he bought a hat that was probably like $45 and wears it to the grocery store. What's that about? But we ran into each other no less than 6 times in the store. And I'm nice, and I'm wearing my mask, right? So I'm like, oh, sorry. And he was nice to me. Like, he was like, oh, my bad. Like, haha. That. And, like, I can't say anything because I had to call Felix twice. One of the ingredients is dry milk. We'll get there. Anyway. Does that happen to you guys? Is that just me? Let me know. Okay, this is the tour. Felix already put the cold stuff away, so I'm just going to give you kind of a rundown because nothing's really exciting. I got 4 different kinds of cheese. Well, 3 different kinds of cheese for mac and cheese. Heavy cream, half and half for mac and cheese. Cinnamon rolls that I'm making Christmas morning. Crescent rolls so I can make pigs in a blanket. And the little weenies so I can make pigs in a blanket. I think that's it. I think I only got vegetarian sausage. And they're already upstairs because Felix and I had some already. But I got the super pretzel bites. I'll pop a picture up. If you've never had them, I feel they're worth the money. And it's also something I feel the brand is important because I've gotten, I don't think Winco has their own pretzel bites, but I've gotten like the Walmart brand ones before. They didn't cut it. They did not cut it. These are so good. The cheddar jalapeno sauce is actually so good. I'm sure there's dupes out there. I've heard making your own pretzels isn't that hard. It's just like time consuming because if I remember right, it's like you have to, similar to bagels, it's like you have to boil them, then cook them, which is like, that's so much. 2 different ways to cook something is too many ways for me. Moving on to not Cold Town. Q-tips. Actually, Winco brand. Q-tips. Q-tips is a brand. This is paper stick cotton swabs. Huge fan. Torani white chocolate sauce. Make my coffee every day. Gotta have it. Gotta have it. For grocery store presents, every time Felix and I go to the grocery store, we try, if we can afford to, spend an extra like $2 or $3 on a grocery store present for the other person. I don't know when it started, like when we first dated, I guess, or when we started grocery shopping for each other, I guess, so probably like a year into dating. And we just always do it. We do it for the baby sometimes. As he gets older, we'll probably do it, but it's not like a thing. It's almost always a snack that like wasn't on the list or you know that they've been wanting to try or things like that. Almost always, I'll get Felix Mountain Dew. They'll get me a sweet tea. Lately, I've been making sweet tea at home, so they haven't needed to buy me sweet tea, but anyway. And then the other grocery store snack is, we keep saying we want cereal, but then the problem is we buy a box of cereal and really what we wanted was like half a box. So I know these are more wasteful, but they're less wasteful in that we won't have cereal that sits in our pantry and just goes bad. I got 2 Cinnamon Toast Crunch, 2 Fruit Loops. Because the last time we talked about, I really wanted cereal, but I just wanted 1 bowl. What I'm almost certain will happen though, now that I've bought the small quantity, is we'll be like, God, I forgot how much I love cereal. And then we're going to buy like 3 boxes and eat them. And then on the 4th box, we won't. So I think what I'm going to try to do if that happens is text our friends and be like, does anyone want the cereal? We're not eating it. We'll see. Let me know if that happens to you. 2 cans of black olives. The baby loves black olives. So do I. Can't ever have too many. 2 cans of black-eyed peas. This is, I think, specifically for Felix to make sheep's pie for Christmas Eve, I think. But this is a Southern thing. I'm sure it's probably from Black culture, like almost everything Southern is. But we always eat black-eyed peas on New Year's Day. Let me know what you guys do. I think also this year I want to do the eating grapes under the table thing. I'm not particularly superstitious, but I am like, I love fun things that maybe will work. Like I love to make like a vision board every year and it's just fun. Maybe it would work better if I like revisited it. I mostly just like am like, yay, fun little art project. Diced jalapenos. I've been so obsessed with these jalapeno cheddar biscuits from Trader Joe's. I've gotten, I think, 3 or 4 boxes, eaten them all. They are so good. They are $5 a box. It's 18 biscuits. They're really small. It could be worse, but it's not great. So for Christmas, I told Felix that all I want is for them to learn how to make them. We found a recipe that's just regular biscuits. They won't be like the coin-sized ones, which is fine. Because if they can make them, I can still just heat them up and eat them. And I would just eat maybe 1 biscuit instead of like 4 mini biscuits. But anyway, but you can't buy fresh jalapenos, at least not in Oregon, this time of year, so I had to get canned. So we'll see. This is dry milk. Everyone, be honest, did you know that dry milk exists? Not evaporated milk, that is different. Not condensed milk, that's also different. This is called dry milk. This is the only kind I had at Winco. I swear I've bought this with Felix before though, and I think it was in the can. But this is the only thing. Cultured buttermilk for cooking and baking blend. I want to make my own butter soon. It's just whipping heavy cream long enough. Maybe I'll do it tomorrow. And that has buttermilk in it. So I don't know if that would have helped whatever they're making with this. Because it can't be the biscuits, I don't think. Blackberry jam. We also, when I was at Trader Joe's the other day, got this like brie croissant thing. And I want to make a brie blackberry jam, and I also have ham sandwich. Because here's the thing about brie. I know some people just like eat it. I'm not really like that. I really like it like with a mix of things, you know? By itself, it feels like too much like stinky cheese. You know what I mean? So I can only have like one bite of it, and then I'm like, that's enough. But it was like a whole hunk. And I bought it 2 days ago, and so I probably have to use it for something in the next few days. Or maybe freeze it. Can you freeze brie? Let me know. So that's what the blackberry jam's for. Tart cherry juice. Have we talked about this? All of Vlogmas? I don't think we have. Hannah put us onto something. Okay, do you guys remember like 2 years ago on TikTok when people were like, oh my god, I drink tart cherry juice before bed and I sleep so good and it's amazing, da 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 da. And everybody was doing it. We also did it and we were like, this is gross. It's so gross. Not worth it. Hannah came over 2-ish months ago, as she does most weekends, and was like, oh yeah, I've been drinking tart cherry juice before bed. And we were like, oh, we did that a couple years ago when it was big and like it was so gross. And she's like, oh, I put creamer in it. She is the smartest girl who's ever lived. Why didn't I think of that? I put creamer in everything. Creamer, I know her extremely well. So that's what we do now. So here is tart cherry juice. I bought more creamer. Here's my only thing. This is like $3 and some change, and this will only make us like 2.5 nights of drinks. So, and you're like, that's not that much, and that's what I said, but Felix brought it up, and it is kind of a lot. So we can't keep having it every night. But right now it's a holiday, okay? And we just got paid from YouTube yesterday, which is why I was able to go grocery shopping. So I did buy it, and I will be having it tonight while I'm editing this video. Next, bought more molasses. As you saw in Felix's video yesterday, they used all the molasses, so I had to get more. 2 things of King's Hawaiian rolls. On Christmas morning, I'm making breakfast sliders. I'm making a small section for the vegetarians, a big one for the meat eaters. I also have some meat sausage that we already had defrosting right now. And ours is gonna have like eggs and bacon and cheese. And then there's like a butter and maple syrup sauce that you put on top. Shelly doesn't like when like meat, or fake meat in her case, is mixed with maple. It's like a real thing she doesn't like, which is crazy because like maple bacon, whatever, is like one of my favorite flavors of things. When they start making maple bacon ibuprofen, I'll never have pain again. That's a joke only for my husband, because when I have a headache, I refuse to take ibuprofen. I'm always like, no, I can power through. And then when I take it, I'm like, wow, I feel so much better. Anyway, but if they made a bacon maple one, they'd have me. Anyway, so I'm going to put their maple butter sauce on the side, in case Felix wants it. Deodorant, we were out. Vanilla extract, we were out. Mini bagels. Do you ever think, I don't know if I want a whole bagel, I'll just eat a half of one. But then sometimes you're like, later, you're like, oh man, I don't want a half a bagel, I want a whole bagel, but that's all you have left. Mini bagels will solve that problem for you. You could have 2 full mini bagels, that's like a full bagel, or just 1 mini bagel is like a half a bagel. This solves their problems. Kind of. Got some cornmeal. This is for the biscuits that Felix is gonna make. I also didn't look at the quantity that I needed of any of the stuff that I need for new recipes, so I just bought a lot of everything. Dishwasher pods. We use powdered dishwasher downstairs, but they like the pods upstairs, and they needed some. Powdered sugar, regular sugar, wheat pasta. We get wheat pasta for free, not an unlimited amount, but like every month we get a certain amount from Wick. Baby loves it. It's really easy to cook. It's also something really easy to cook a lot of and then freeze, so we always make sure to use it. regular pasta. This is for me to make mac and cheese. I went a little crazy this time. I got special Christmas noodles. I got some cavatappi. Or the spiralies to some. This is oats back here. I don't know what it's for. Felix is making something with oats. Diapers for upstairs. We have the refills because we have that wipe warmer that we don't plug in downstairs, but upstairs they don't, so we have to buy the small things. Diapers. And then the shelf-stable pouches. Felix does try to make, just because it's a little cheaper, not because we're like worried about prepackaged foods. Felix does try to make the pouches as you've seen in several of our videos, for the baby because he loves them. They're also like a great thing when he's like, I'm starving suddenly, because he's a toddler. He always wants a pouch. If you need to buy yourself 2 minutes to heat him up something else, give him a pouch. He'll love it. Same with olives. Loves them. If they could somehow make olives into like chips, the boy loves salt. So anyway, I think that's everything. Oh, we also got toilet paper. I don't know if you can see that. But yeah, I know this is a little short one, but I kind of love, like, it's like throwing it back to our roots to do like just grocery shop, grocery tour. That's the end. That's like the first kind of vlogs that we made. I also love those kind of vlogs. Somebody commented on the last one, like, I love any vlog that's like, I bought something, here's everything I bought. And I do too. Especially like ones similar to ours where it's like thrifting or grocery shopping, like things you have to buy. I don't really watch like, here's everything I got on Amazon, you know what I mean? But I'll be honest, I've done it in the past. I'm nosy. I think the reason those vlogs are so fun is because if you're a member of the nosy community, it really fulfills that aspect, you know? Anyway, thank you so much. Merry Christmas Eve. We've got one more left after today. And then we won't have any more vlogs for the year. We're taking New Year's off to go to the cabin. And I'm going to throw my phone in the ocean. And I'm going to make Felix throw their phone in the ocean so we can just be there. We are going to vlog. But we're not going to edit or do anything else. So, but you'll see all that when we get back. That's it. That's it. This is the... Hello. This is like an after credits scene. I already said goodbye. Felix came in from rocking.
What are you doing?
Rocking the baby. They
The movie's over.
What are you doing? Yeah. Go home. This guy, he's still here. Felix said, what kind of jalapenos did you get?
Did ya?
Did ya? Yeah. They had glass jalapenos.
Why? What is that?
Sorry, the jalapenos were made of jalapeno.
In a glass jar?
They were in a glass jar.
Like they were pickled?
No. They
Are
didn't
you
say
sure?
pickled. Yes.
What did they say?
They said something else. It couldn't be spiced. Speared, maybe?
Oh, well that's
Sexy?
Don't
Look
do
at
that.
this. Anyway, in a glass jar. Mount Olive. Same people who make the pickles.
not Mount Olives. What'd you say?
Is it not Mount Olive?
Why are you saying it? That's a brand?
Yeah, that's the pickle
I
brand.
don't know the brand of
There's
the pickle.
Vlasic and there's Mount... When I show
Are you
the
thinking
thing...
of kosher?
No. That is another one, though.
Isn't it?
You know a lot about pickles.
I cannot express how little I know about pickles.
Mount Olive.
Is it just
Mount
that the
Olive.
pickles can or can't be kosher?
No, I think kosher is...
Is kosher a brand?
Kosher pickles. That sounds right. Could be a last name.
No, it's like it's.
I know
Judaism.
that.
Oh well.
It could also be a last name.
Okay.
Like Ashton Kutcher. Ashton Kutcher.
Ashton Kutcher. I hardly know her.
I literally... You are not going to believe this. I made a cream her, I know her extremely well joke about the tart juice.
That's really funny.
I made it and I was like, only Felix is going to think this is
That's
funny.
hilarious.
Thank you.
That's really
They didn't even laugh, probably.
No, I'm sure they did.
Okay, anyway.
Yeah.
So they have glass. I grabbed glass. This is when I call you about the wet dry milk.
Yeah, I'm still confused about that.
Did you see what I had to get?
What?
The guy with the... I got the mustache
That's what I
one.
asked you to get, yeah. That was the more expensive one, but that's
the only one
dry
I had.
yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't say dry milk anymore on it. Did you know that?
What does it say?
Buttermilk, buttermilk. This is the man with the mustache. He's got your milk. I don't know. It says like best buttermilk in town.
Hand it to me. It's powder. You see
For
how it's
cooking
powder?
it. No, I knew it was powder.
That's the important part. Yeah, this is insane.
Yeah. Cultured buttermilk blend. How is it?
I didn't realize it
dry
was
milk?
so small. This is actually crazy. It's dry.
No. Why?
Bread.
Yeah. You put other wet things in the bread?
Water.
Why couldn't you put milk in it?
This makes the water into milk.
They already have milk. Why would you? You don't need to Jesus the milk.
I think I don't know, because of the Great Depression, because it's cheaper. I don't know.
Well, you have till 2029 to use it, and the mustache man, he's proud. Anyway, the jalapenos. I go this glass jar, then that's when I call you about the milk, and I'm like, more molasses, blah, 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 it's on the same aisle. As I'm walking past molasses for the third time to finally grab them, after I've kind of just like tickled the jar a few times, by walking past, under Mrs. Grandma Molasses, there's these little beauties.
Yeah.
Winco diced jalapenos, and guess how much these were?
Like 98 cents.
82 cents.
Right.
2 of them. So I got 2 of them. I know it only said 2 tablespoons,
Okay, and I want to be really
but
clear.
only 10 calories.
Yeah, I think that these are for...
You don't think you could put them in biscuits?
I think you can put these in biscuits. I think the speared ones are for eating.
Well, I'm gonna eat these.
By themselves.
Yeah, it was just a nice jar.
How many dollars was it?
It was like $6.
That's what I'm saying. I think that they were like pickled, or there's like something else.
I don't think they were pickled because there
What
were
were they next to?
pickled ones. They were next to pickles, but there were pickled jalapenos, and these didn't say that because I had to read all the things first. That was why I picked this one. Mount Olive, she only had a tiny jar.
It was by the pickles. It wasn't by the canned foods.
Correct. It was what all other glass. Now I'd like to be clear. I'm not telling you you're wrong. You could be right. I already told the team, so I can cut this out. There was a man, you know how when you go to like the parks or whatever, you feel like you see the same 10 families over and over?
Yeah.
I did that with this guy today who had a snapback said Gulf of America 25 on it.
No.
He's calling his
way.
wife in every single aisle. He says, "What do you mean by this thing on the list?" Now to them I said, I can't really make fun of him because I first met him in the aisle where I said, "What is dry milk? Why is the milk dry? Evaporated milk? No, that is different somehow." Anyway, but yeah, he just kept, and he was nice, and I was wearing my mask, and he wasn't weird, and I wasn't weird to him because I'm not a dick. But I was like, how weird of you.
Insane.
Another guy who had a hat that was clearly supposed to look like Make America Great Again, but it said less egg, more nog. But it was like a MAGA looking hat. And I was like,
that's
a
crazy.
lot going on with this guy. He was like 80 years old.
Wow.
In like a pushy, like a electric cart.
I want to see that man again who was old, who had a gray shirt on and a slightly darker gray thing said openly gray because his hair had gone gray.
I hope he's having a great day.
I hope he's having a great day. Yeah. Okay. On the
24th day of Christmas, Morgan gave to you time at Winco buying some treats.
Amen.
And man, that's what I've always said. I got your Mountain Dew right in here.
Okay.
Put it in that box so the baby wouldn't see it.
That was smart of you.
Well, when he sees something
He's
like
a
a Mountain
fiend
Dew,
for the dew.
what he wants to do is he wants to shake it up and down. He wants to shake the Mountain Dew, and you have to say, "Baby, stop shaking it." He doesn't understand that.
Well,
he doesn't know why you can't shake
He
it.
hasn't exploded one yet, but when he does, it's gonna be a real surprise.
I remember the first time I did that. I was at church. I know exactly where I was standing. I know what I was wearing. It was a Sprite, and my mom said, "Don't shake the Sprite." Da, da, da. And I was like, "Okay, what's gonna happen?"
Bomb.
Literally. And then, like, I just remember her looking at me and Colin looking at me, and I was like, I'm so sticky now. I remember it so clearly.
That's really funny.
Anyway, and one day our baby will do that too, and that's
Sprite.
That's part of life.
Sprite is the least worst one that happens with, though.
That's true.
Because any other color would be bad.
Yeah, well, I had a little dress on. That would have been sad. I would apologize for the ice maker, except I'm not sorry. I love having it. Was it a pain to get fixed because my brother had to fly from Alabama to fix it? I mean, he was already here. He was already going to fly to visit, but I love having ice. I tell you what, no ice in this thing. So, anyway, but if they made a bacon... Oh, I see we're getting divorced now.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I like to be filmed.
Girl, it was so just confusing that one time.
Okay. On the 24th day of Christmas, Felix had a hat